Hello everybody, and welcome to day 23 of 30 days of recovery. I am Travis, the Featherhawk Snyder. I am a person in long-term recovery, and what that means for me is I haven't had a mind or mood-altering chemical for over 5 years, and as a result of that choice, a lot of God's grace and a lot of hard work, I've been blessed and grateful to be involved in my community in a number of ways, something I never imagined before. Which leads us up to today's topic for 30 days of recovery, which is community involvement. And for those tuning in maybe for the first time, 30 days of recovery is I'm simply and humbly sharing on a topic and how it relates to my personal life journey into addiction and recovery through my lived experience, with the hopes of reaching people in Schuylkill County, people in recovery, or anyone who comes across this video. And so today's topic, community involvement, this one is something that's dear to my heart and something I didn't really truly embrace the idea of community involvement until, when I began recovery back in the winter of 2011 going into 2012. Actually, it was really at that time, when I was locked up and I had some time in the county, that the reprogramming began. And like I always share, when it comes to changing our life and changing our direction and really changing our thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors is always an energetic thing to me. I compare it negative, positive energy, bringing good, positive, loving things into our lives, into our consciousness, into our daily activities, into our choices, good positive energy, things that revolve around that frequency of love. And so, I knew that in recovery that this was an important thing. And, what better way to really generate a lot of good positive energy than to get involved in your community, helping out where there is a need, or, finding people who are less fortunate or who might need some assistance or something in the community that's in disrepair, or wherever it may be, wherever your heart may lead you. But for me, I opened my heart to all kinds of positive things, as I mentioned in many of the topics before. But community involvement is really something really sparked me, this idea of really getting involved to help out and using, these creative skills that I've been blessed to have in a positive way, in a way that more than benefits myself. And so in 2013, my first real crack at this community involvement, it would have been August 2nd, 2013. I got with a couple of people with an idea called Dance and Wash for the Cure. And the idea was to have a car wash at our high school out here in Tri-Valley. I live in Higgins. And to raise money for the Susan G. Komen Foundation for breast cancer, to find a cure for breast cancer. And this was already established, benefit and an effort that a lot of people tried. And I was like, hey, here's something that's, I can just help out. We can help out as a community, get people to come together to help out this cause. So we basically planned a day, got permission from the district office here at Tri-Valley. They were grateful to let us use the front of the high school. We set up a table, put some music on, and the idea was we're going to dance, have fun, and wash cars and raise money. And I'm going to pull up a photo right now. This is part of the crew that was there during that day. And somebody brought a pink bug by to kind of represent, for those don't know, by now that the pink is the ribbon color for breast cancer awareness. And so we had everybody wearing pink shirts, and it was just a really cool day. We had local celebrities even coming by. Here's, David A. Lucas. For those of you out here in Schuylkill County, you should know about this man, independent coal miner, a big advocate for independent coal mining, and just a really stand-up guy here in the Higgins area. Does a lot of great things for the community as well. He came by. That's our crew washing his truck. And so This was the first time that I really saw just an incredible loving energy in motion. And we had a slip and slide that day for the kids. Even the kids were helping out and washing cars. And I think just at the car wash, we raised $610 on top of other donations. And I think somewhere around $800 and some dollars we ended up raising just for that effort. And it was just really cool. And so that was my first personal experience with community involvement, and that really set my heart on a path to really want to stay actively involved in my community and ways to contribute to my community and other communities and people in general. I knew that I spent a whole lot of life in my addiction and my lifestyle before, as my disease progressed. I wasn't very community minded. I was a very, very selfish in a way. I was a kind, caring person. I love people. I would do, I always would do stuff for people. It wasn't that I was just a complete shut-in or completely isolated, but I didn't really take the idea of that, really putting in a great effort to help others and not expecting anything in return. And that's the big part about it, the selflessness behind it. And so this idea of community involvement really was something that when God basically downloaded this idea of Skook Recovers in 2015, it was really centered around, a lot of things, including community involvement. One, by breaking the stigma of what addiction is and showing people what recovery is, and really bringing a positive light into Schuylkill County, where there was such a negative cloud. Didn't see a whole lot of positive things out there in the community, on social media or wherever. And so, eventually the idea of community involvement became growing more and more, just breaking stigma, sharing our stories, getting out, speaking when we were asked to speak at schools or wherever it may be. If we were available, getting involved there. I was blessed to be asked to be on the Schuylkill County Drug and Alcohol Advisory Board, which I'm on today. So I help out there. I help plan their recovery event in September. Great people. This is just my personal way of getting involved in my community. That in Skook Recovers, and eventually getting out and doing community cleanups and volunteer projects, which, by the way, we are about to get back into that again, and we don't plan on stopping. There was a pretty big break between last year's activities and now, but for good reason. That being said, there's going to be a lot of volunteer opportunities coming up, and we are excited for that, just to get people out and involved in the community. Really what this is to do is to really break that spirit of isolation, that evil spirit that keeps people from being out amongst, strangers and people that they may not know or formed relationships with, and really forming bonds and new relationships and generating positivity, pushing that spirit of isolation out, and really uniting our communities. Because if you break down the word community, unity is inside of that. And I think that's something that we greatly lack here in Schuylkill County, not just here, but in the majority of our state and country, wherever you go. I think that the idea of community has been really torn apart. And so we have a reason to be out there. We have a reason to, and there's always a lot of things to do. There's always places to get involved and volunteer and be involved in our community. And if not, come up with your own idea and go for it. Find an effort, a cause, and do it, and gather people. It's just, for me personally, that was part of my reprogramming of my mind, of really healing and pushing out the negative spirits and bringing in that positive love. And that truly has transformed my life. And so I encourage anyone out there. Also, I got to give a big shout out to all the organizations that are involved in their communities. Safer Streets out there in Tamaqua, doing great things. And we have a new one that popped up, Ashley from the Missing Link in Monomoy City. They're doing stuff with suicide survivors and supporting people that don't think there's another tomorrow. These are just two groups off the top of my head. Vinny's Angels and the Hope Initiative, Open Arms Ministry. Obviously, we got Our Father's House down there in Pottsville. I'm just kind of going through the list. Like, these are great community places that are getting involved in their communities and helping people and helping out where there's a need. So replace all those negative spirits, those bad spirits that want to move through you. Push them out and bring in positive energy. Get involved in your community. Find other organizations that are doing things and hop on in there and just be a part of it, and be a part of something positive. And so that's it for this edition of 30 Days of Recovery, being community involvement. And so everybody out there, go out, get involved in your community, let us know about it. Stay tuned, because we are going to be sharing a lot of stuff with what we have coming up as well. Come get involved with us, get involved with Safer Streets, just get involved, do something really positive. And I'm pretty sure that our communities are going to start growing back together, and a lot of things are going to change around here in Schuylkill County. Okay, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow. God bless everybody, and peace.